A lot of people have been asking me, what does order flow mean at chart engineers? For me it's simple. I compare it like the waves in the ocean. Water can seem very chaotic, but at certain times the waves are moving perfectly clear. And that's exactly how I interpret order flow. It's about spotting the rhythm in the chaos of the market, and once you see it, you can ride those waves and capitalize on them. The term order flow gets thrown around a lot in trading. For some, it's about reading tape. For some, it's about reading the order book, and for some others, it might be looking for liquidity zones. But we at chart engineers have redefined the term order flow for ourselves, and to us, it means the willingness for price to move in a certain direction, usually over a short period of time. It's a unique perspective that combines raw price action with the footprints of the bigger players in the market, something you won't find in any textbook. So in this video, I'm going to show you what order flow is, how to spot it, and how to use it to your benefit. So let's dive in. Alright, so we are looking at Euro USD price chart here. I only use order flow on the M5 time frame because I'm a day trader, but you could also use it on the M15 or H1 if you are more of a intra-week trader. So for me, M5 order flow is one of the most important things in my trading. So yeah, I'm going to show you how I define order flow real quick. So here you can see the day has started at 8 AM, London open. And you can see we are ranging here and we moved lower, right? At this point, I don't know anything yet. I want to see the willingness of price moving in a certain direction. So I'm waiting. Then you can see how price has pushed up and then lower. So at this point, I have my first sign of potential bearish order flow. So we have MSB here. And then I want to see evidence of price continuing in this direction. So I want to see order blocks being respected. I want to see fair value gaps being respected. I want to see price making new lows, etc. And then you can see we had another market structure break. So at this point, I'm quite convinced that we will have a bearish session on price. Obviously, I also look at higher time frame context, of course, but in this video, I'm solely gonna showcase order flow, and all the other stuff will be explained in other videos, of course. And for the chart engineers, I have a whole trading program explaining all the pieces of the puzzle and putting it into one system, of course. But I'm now gonna showcase order flow. So here you can see we broke down the M5, making a new low. So right now we have this order block here, last up candle before the MSB. So what I want to see now is this order flow being respected. So I could look for shorts in this level if my strategy allows it, or I will wait for this order block to be respected and then get in possible sells. And you can see we run into this order block, we broke structure to the downside again. So yeah, right now order flow is definitely bearish, and you can confidently look for shorts because order flow is bearish, and it shows the willingness for price to move even lower. And you can see moving lower. So right now with the low, with the new low, and the pullback into the order block, with a new low, the pullback, with a new low. So order flow is definitely bearish here, and that's what you want. It's about spotting the rhythm in the market, like I mentioned earlier, and then you can ride those waves accordingly. So yeah, that's order flow basically, a nice example of bearish order flow. It even continued much more, because right now you can see with the push up, we took a M5 high here, and this could be a clean sell opportunity if you're trading M5 M1, for example, or M5 liquidity rates, or any other strategy. But yeah, you can see nice reaction again, new MSB here, right there. So yeah, this is a very textbook example of bearish M5 order flow. You can see order blocks being respected, you can see fair value gaps being respected, because here we have a fair value gap, for example, FVG, fair value gaps being respected, M5 rates being respected. So yeah, when markets move like this, you have a higher probability profile. You can execute trades with ease, and your strike rate will be much higher compared to trading without order flow. That was a good example of bearish order flow. I'm now going to show you an example of when there is no order flow and how it will fuck up your trading basically. So yeah, let me go over that real quick. Alright, so now I'm going to show you an example of where order flow is not really clear. That's exactly where you can anticipate choppy market conditions and avoid trading at all, or adjust your trading strategy or system accordingly. So yeah, this is, you can see here, the day starts for me, London open 8 AM in the morning, and you can see that price has moved lower, right? So at this point you want to see new lows being formed in order to define order flow basically. So at this point for me, order flow is defined bearish, because we made a low here within session, MSB, pullback, made a new low. So at this point I want to see FVGs being respected, order blocks being respected, stuff like that, so I can look for setups in line with my order flow. Right here we have an order block, BZ. So you can see MSB here, last up candle before the market structure break, which forms this order block here. So I want to see this order block being respected. for me to confirm the bearish order flow. And then you can see it had a reaction, and then you can see it being respected. So now I could look for shorts unless this order block gets violated. And then you can see how price has pushed up again, and then you can see this order block being violated, and we also had a MSB to the upside right now. So this order block is violated. So at this point there's no order flow for me. We had bearish market breaks, but then we broke up again on the M5. So at this point order flow is sideways, and I don't like order flow being sideways. I don't trade when order flow is sideways. So yeah, so let's see what we can expect next. And then you can see that price has run higher, taken out this high here, and you can see it's very choppy at this moment, because there's no order flow at all. So at this point I usually just step away from my charts and do something else, because it's not worth trading, to be honest. It's a low probability environment for me, so I don't like trading in this type of behavior. So yeah, you can see it took out this high, moved lower. So let's see if order flow can define itself and price showing willingness to move in a certain direction instead of going sideways. So yeah, right now you can see we had a MSB here. Market break broke down. So I want to see these lows being broken and then a FVG or something else being respected. Okay, right now we have a MSB, a new market break, so 2 MSB to the downside. So at this point we can look for order flow being respected, and this is the last up candle before the MSB. So in order for order flow to become bearish and being confirmed as bearish, I want to see this order block being respected. So right now you can see it being respected a little bit, and then it pushed up again, and then it invalidated the order block. So at this point, again, it confirms that there is no order flow in the market and that price is showing no willingness to move in a certain direction but sideways. So it's just sideways price action, really choppy. A lot of people will blow their accounts here or take a lot of losses in these kind of environments. So for me, it's I'll write this day off and go do something else if order flow can become bullish or bearish later in the day. But then again, you can see it pushed up all the way back here, and again it's going lower. So here you could argue that order flow is being bearish because we took out this high here with a sweep, and then we broke lower on the M5. We had a pullback, broke lower again. So at this point you could say that order flow is bearish, but I want to see evidence of that. I want to see a confirmation of this order flow being bearish. I want to see order blocks or fair value gaps being respected. So right here we have an order block. This is the last up candle before the MSB to the downside. So I want to see this order block being respected for me to take short setups. And then you can see it was being respected and it moved lower, but I don't think there were any entries here. The only time there was confirmed order flow was exactly at this region, because where the MSB, so right here, where the market structure break to the downside, and then you can see where they pull back into the order block, and the order block is being respected here. So at this point I can look for a short place if I get my entry trigger. So the only time that price had confirmed bearish order flow was at 2 p.m. in New York Open, basically. Exactly at New York Open. So all this action here was all trash, basically, all sideways PA. No clear willingness for price to move in a certain direction. And after this push up, we had the MSB, new market break, order block being respected. So at this point, I can look for a short place if my strategy is giving me entries. But then you can see it moved down really clean. There were no entries for me here because I trade off M5, M1 rates. And here you can see there was no M5 sweep. Unfortunately, because this was a very clean play if it was given, basically. So yeah, that was it basically. You can see how price has reached the lower part of this range. And then you can see again, it moved higher. No order flow at all. The very sideways PA. The only trade that could have been taken on this particular trading day was a short from this level here. But other than that, it's just sideways action. Very choppy, basically. And like I said, when there's no order flow in the market, you can anticipate a choppy market to occur or to happen. So it's best to just log off, close your charts, or do some back testing, or do something else, basically. Go run some errands or stuff like that. And now I showed you a clean order flow example at the beginning of the video. And I also showed you an order flow example where there's basically no order flow in the market. Price is moving sideways, so there's no willingness for markets to move in a certain direction other than sideways. So yeah, but even when markets are choppy, you still have to look at charts now and then and see if order flow can change, basically, or can get to a certain direction, because it sometimes is a session where it's just sideways and there's no entries because order flow is sideways, but it could shift really quick in a different session. So here you could see, so here you saw that London Open was very choppy, but then right at New York Open there could have been a clean short opportunity because order flow was confirmed bearish. So that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one.